Hi Taurus, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing great. Appreciate you being here. If you're new here, please subscribe. I would be very, very grateful. If everybody would like and share, I would be very grateful for that as well. It really helps me as I build my channel, which I'm having a really, really good time building. And I appreciate all of you participating. I have the chart up here for your Taurus season reading, and I'll get to that in a minute. Just a couple more things. If you are interested in a personal reading, I can be reached through the contact section on my website at jovesstar.com. That's JOVESSTAR.com. Head over there, take a look. You can read a little bit about me personally. If there's something that you'd like to know that's not on there, just drop me a message. I'd be happy to answer it. Otherwise, to schedule a reading, head over there and shoot me a message. I would love to read for you. Okay, let's get into what's going on for Taurus rising in Taurus season. So although it may not be your birthday this month because it's a rising sign, there's a lot going on with Taurus energy this month. So it could prove to be pretty exciting for Taurus rising. So let's take a look here. We have the sun here in Taurus, and it's sitting in your first house. So this is all about you. This is a focus on what you want for yourself. In the sign of Taurus, this is all about comfort and security. This is about, how you feel about your environment around you, the things that you're eating. In the first house, it's all about your physical body. So how you're taking care of that, how you feel about your body, what you're putting in your body. This is all about you and how you show up in the world. So it's a very significant time. Taurus is about simplicity. So Taurus is very sensual. Taurus is ruled by Venus. So this is just all about presenting yourself in a way that makes you feel alive and valuable. That is what the sun is highlighting for Taurus rising this month. Excuse me, which is really, really cool. All right. So we also have here, as you can see, we have Uranus. Oops, my goodness. Drawing with this thing, I tell you, never comes out like exactly the same way every time. Okay. So we have we have Uranus and Mercury also in your first house, and Uranus, that can be a sudden change in your physical appearance, in your expression, your outer personality. People could be very surprised that now that the sun has moved and is lighting up your first house, you could be throwing out some surprises there, and people could be like, wow, is this the same Taurus rising that I knew a little while ago? And also that could be affecting your communication and your thought process because Mercury is right there as well. So this is a very life-changing energy, or the potential to actually change who you are and how you feel about yourself and how people see you. So potentially a very exciting time for you right now in Taurus season. And as long as Uranus has been in there, Uranus has been in there for a long time, so you could have been experiencing a lot of sudden and different kinds of changes in your appearance and in how people interact with you anyway. But now the sun is there and Mercury is there, and so it's starting to come out and you're really starting to focus on it. We also have too in that house for you, we have the North Node, and we have the South Node up here in Scorpio. And so I'll talk about those next because they're affecting all of us pretty significantly as they, take their transit through Taurus and Scorpio. And right now, they are, and they have been actually in a T-square here with Saturn. And, you know, Saturn is, you know, where we learn our lessons. Saturn is where, you know, we're held accountable. Saturn can, you know, push us to actually elevate ourselves into a responsible place, or it can make us feel restricted in a certain area, especially if we are wanting to go in a different direction, or we feel, and you know, so that can make us feel restricted to our responsibilities in a certain area of life and cause some tension. So it can kind of be at cross purposes depending on where you're at in your life, and you know how you're ready to move forward. But one thing for sure, Saturn is like, you know, okay, it's time to move forward. The nodes, and boy, I don't know why this thing is acting up, but okay, so the nodes, I'll draw again, and Saturn, and then many of the other planets that are transiting too are all in the later degrees, and so that's very telling. That they're coming together, especially the nodes coming together with like Saturn, and in the later degrees of the sign. And Saturn in Aquarius, which is sitting in your 10th house of career, reputation, public image, commitments, things like that, which is great. You know, Saturn sitting in the house of commitments. In Aquarius, this is all about your social responsibility. You know, what are you responsible for out there in the community? Maintaining your individuality and separateness, along with also serving and, you know, taking care of your social responsibilities. So in your career, it's like, what have you committed to do for other people in your career? What is it? How do those things affect your reputation? You know, do you feel that you have been recognized? Things like that for the hard work that you're doing. You know, Saturn requires a lot of hard work. So in this degree, as I was saying, in the later degrees, now that you've learned things and you've hopefully established where you belong, and you've staked your claim in that area of your career, or maybe made some decisions that, you know, I want to do something different, or this is really causing me a lot of restriction and it's just a lot of stress. And those T-squares, you know, now they're coming in. That may not be new, but now that it's T-squaring the nodes, you could really start to feel a shift and a pressure to move things forward. And so in that later degree of Aquarius, it's like, now it's time to wrap things up. Take what we've learned, figure out how I can give to myself individually while still making, maintaining my commitments to the people that I am responsible for in my career, for you in your career. And you could really have been going through a period of time where you feel it's just so heavy, and there's could be restrictions and delays, you know, around your career, and you feel like, it's interfering even with your relationships, because the South Node in Scorpio, ruled by Pluto, is in your 7th house of relationships. And so maybe you're giving too much to other people. And, you know, the 7th house of relationships can be, romantic relationships, marriages. It can be partnerships in business. Whatever it is, it seems to me that it's possible that one expression of this T-square here is that you've been feeling responsible, like a heavy level of responsibility to people that you are in partnerships with, at the expense of your own personal security and comfort, that you're so mired down with the responsibilities of your career, trying to maintain your reputation, that you just need, and you can't simplify your life. And so you just feel like you need to let go of some of those relational responsibilities, or that they're suffering, or that you haven't been able to give to them, or that you're just doing it for that reason only. You're working really hard just to maintain those relationships, and starting to think, gee, what am I getting back from that? So you could have been meeting some resistance or coming to some decisions and conclusions about what is truly your responsibility within your partnerships, and to yourself, and then how that works through your career and how you are being seen out there in the world. And that's a change, and you could feel some tension and not be really sure what to let go of, how to move yourself into a more serene and comfortable place, so that you're expressing yourself as fully as you can, and as simply as you can, just really honestly, just simply being afforded the opportunity to just be you, work on you. And so this these nodes transiting, the South Node in Scorpio is bringing up things. You could be feeling fear of losing relationships. You could be really trying to unpack what are your obligations, or how do I let go of control. It doesn't always mean that it's outer people or circumstances that are causing us to feel that way. With the 7th house in Scorpio, can have a tendency to really, with all good intentions, want to control and develop, nourish our relationships to the point of smothering ourselves or feeling ultra responsible or pushing away people in our lives. It just depends. It can work, a couple of different ways. The thing about Scorpio energy and the South Node there, and the fact that Pluto rules that, is it is all about being able to deconstruct, to rebuild, evolving. This is a process of evolution. And right now, you could be feeling a push or being forced to even let go of some kind of control or thought process that you have maintained within your relationships, whether that be business relationships or any other type of relationships. So Saturn is saying let go of that, and that's hard to do. But eventually, it puts us in like a vice grip, so where we are something's going to break. That's what the T-square is. It's like tension on both sides. Something breaks. The universe and the evolutionary process wants us to move towards the North Node, which in your case is really moving into your body and taking care of yourself first. So there's that, which could be causing some stress and tension, or just changes in your life, a sense of urgency, especially now that Saturn is at the end of its transit. We also have Pluto here, and Pluto is, the god of the underworld, the god of change, of power and destruction and rebirth and regeneration. And so Pluto transiting Capricorn, which is all about, reviewing and evolving the structures that we have built. And, in the 9th house for you as a Taurus rising, that's all about your beliefs and your integration, what you believe spiritually, religious type things, what you're learning on a higher level, how to process information through your higher mind, kind of, reworking what it is you thought that you always stood for, and changing that area of life for you. So it opens up, it broadens your mind, and brings you into a place where you can change and evolve into somebody who can experience something completely different, change your beliefs and learn things differently, find a way to integrate that into your spiritual life. Things are changing in that area of life for you. And, when Pluto does a transit, it's ruthless. Pluto is going to create a change. And when it completes its cycle in an area of life, it's going to be changed for good. It's going to be a permanent type of change. And so a lot of times that evolutionary process doesn't feel good, but, it is part of the plan. It's part of our soul's plan and our life purpose. And, it is, again, the evolutionary process. So Pluto is squaring the sun in Taurus. Now, Pluto is squaring the sun in Aries at the end of Aries season. And, Aries energy is much more, aggressive and passionate, and you could have felt, a lot of agitation there. But now that it is squaring the sun in Taurus, it's a push. You may feel a really strong push to that your beliefs are changing, and really the way that this sits in your chart, you really need to start focusing on what you believe for yourself, and how you can change who you are and how you show up in the world, whether that be your body or whether that be your personality. Whatever that is, Pluto is now squaring the sun right now, and it won't square the sun forever, but it could be causing right now just something really that feels, where you feel a lot of pressure, could be dredging up fears, and things that, feel like unknown to you. Just that Pluto energy, wherever Pluto transits, it's very, very deep. So Pluto could have really been stirring up just the core of your beliefs, what you really want, where you want to be, what in this world, very close to the end of the transit to the midheaven, if it hasn't already crossed the midheaven. So this is like taking stock of what you believe in, and what impact you want to make on the world. What really is your purpose? So you could be feeling some really intense emotions with that Pluto squaring the sun, and just quite a bit of nudging to take some kind of action, or to really focus more on yourself. So there could be some heavy contemplation and emotions coming up where that's concerned. We also have, we have still all of this Pisces energy, which you've been dealing with for so long. And this is hitting your 11th house of, hopes and dreams, and the community and organizations you're involved in, your friends, your acquaintances, things like that. You could have kind of, seen some endings there with some affiliations or friends, and, that Pisces energy can also create confusion and sadness, and, things aren't really how we feel. It may not be exactly how things are in reality, and we're just, not sure. This Pisces energy could have either brought in a lot of more spiritual affiliations, could have made you feel like you wanted to reach out and really connect with people spiritually, or coming out of the 10th house, now you're ready to change what it is that you're committed to, maybe even in your career, get out there and start to throw seeds out there to actually do something different in terms of connecting with the community, or putting something together that actually feels more connected to your soul, that is more heartfelt for you. But you could have experienced some endings or confusion in the process of that during all of this time, where there's so many planets going through Pisces, and may not be able to actually see where things are going to land. Really good time to just feel through those things, reach out, connect to people, spiritually, and learn as much as you can. This is a really good time to get out there in the community and make connections, to do things more creatively. The Pisces energy is really great for creative projects. So this would be connecting to creative groups, so painting or music or art, anything like that. Taurus rising, Taurus rules the throat, ruled by Venus, so it's very musical anyway. So this is a great time to create and really expand this Pisces energy in through a vehicle like that, and that would be a beautiful expression of all of this Pisces energy coming into your 11th house. But again, you may have experienced some endings. Things are different than what they were. Confusion, fears, sadness, depression. As things move through, not a good time to make any decisions or try to make sense of anything, really. Let it move through you and feel it. Have faith, have hope, that if you're dealing with an ending, of a friend or acquaintance, or, just anything that's confusing like that, maybe you don't feel like you're actually receiving the interaction from the community or socially that you actually desire. Just have faith and hope. Know that the universe is in charge here with all of this heavy planetary energy in Pisces, and that what is for you will be brought to you. It's faith in the universe, faith in the divine, spirit, God, whatever you identify with, that where you are supposed to be, you will get there. You will land where you are supposed to be. Feel through it. It's a very important too that while you're trying to figure out where your place in the world is, that you use discernment. There are a lot of people, including myself, who are trying to establish and reach out and help people, move through their spiritual journey. I'm trying to do it myself, and hopefully I can help as many people as I can, and then when I help people, they help me. But it's really important to pay attention to how you feel. Does this resonate with my soul? Because there's also the risk here of all of that, spiritual evolution getting a little bit too big, a little too arrogant. It can be a little bit elusive sometimes. There can be a lot of deceit coming in from other places. It's just a good time to be practical and, not make any serious decisions and just test the waters, but pay attention to how you feel. Pisces and Neptune energy is really good for feeling into things, but important in the 11th house with all of that to protect your energy ultimately from your physical body. And, coming into all of this energy now that's coming into your first house through your physical body, if you felt like you were sort of soaked with so much energy coming in from out there in the community, you might feel just kind of the need to have a spiritual bath or something. And so those are really good things to do too. Any kind of spiritual therapy or energy work, anything that moves energy through your body, good to do. Water therapy is really good. Just to sort of protect yourself through the rest of this. But otherwise, hold hope, hold faith that what it is that you need and who you need to connect with is going to come to you. Venus also is traveling there in Pisces as well, and Jupiter hooked up with Neptune, which was great, and there was a lot of hope there. It just depends on where you're at in your life and your evolutionary process. What was fated to happen. Some people experienced a lot of endings and sadness, like I mentioned, in that area of life. If people were struggling, they might have gone out in the world and done a little bit more or hooked up with people that sort of fostered unhealthy escapism, maybe, but maybe not. The how these things play out are going to be different for all of us, but overall I think Jupiter conjunct Neptune, very positive. It's an expansion of spirituality. If we're being careful and we're following our heart, this is wonderful. Protecting our energy, good time to learn and expand and grow and connect with people. Creatively, very, very good time for that. Venus in Pisces as well will be coming conjunct with Neptune as well. Neptune is unconditional love. We know Venus is the goddess of love. This is a really beautiful time to hold hope that you will receive the love and the value that you have been working for, that you deserve on a spiritual level. From people that you come in contact with. Again, 11th house is how you receive love and energy from socially. So this is a very hopeful time, very healing time potentially. It's just about holding out hope and faith and realizing that something much higher than us is in control, and we kind of have to let go of the reins a little bit. So there's a lot of letting go here, with the nodes, with this Neptune energy. Mars has just moved into Pisces as well. And that's, Mars wants to take action of some sort. In Pisces, really good to do something spiritual, trip of some sort. Again, energy work, taking some action in that way around water. Probably not a good time to make any serious decisions. Be careful of who's coming at you. Mars in Pisces can be a little passive aggressive in the early stages of Pisces. So, again, a lot of discernment in terms of how you're connecting out there with friends and meeting new people, or getting involved in community organizations or anything of that sort. Mars and Venus will be moving into Aries towards the end of the month. Now, that will give you more clarity, more energy to take action, and a little bit more clarity, hopefully, coming out of all of that Pisces energy in the 11th house. Now, for Taurus rising, that's going to be going into your 12th house, which is more of a private house. It's kind of like where everything comes to sort of settle and then be reconciled. Either it gets stuck in our psyche, we reconcile it, or it can haunt us. It comes into our dreams until we can move it out into our physical reality, into our outer personality. So, Mars and Venus moving into the 12th house is a place to process all of that energy. What did you pick up from the collective when Mars and Venus were coming through there? Maybe you met somebody and it's going to come into your 12th house and you're going to really feel excited about it, or you might, but you're not sure exactly how to process it yet. Maybe there's somebody there that you're starting a relationship with that you're just kind of keeping to yourself, and the passion is secret and private, maybe. 12th house can be tricky because, and especially in Aries, it's like you want to do something, but sometimes there's a little barrier there between understanding and processing it and feeling inside and knowing what you want to do and actually being able to do it. So this would be a really good time, if you're struggling with anything like that, to actually pay attention to your dreams for sure. Meditation, it can calm down that Aries 12th house, possibly. Definitely physical activity. Even if you can't speak and talk about things, get out there and get physically active if you can push yourself to do that. Now that you have the sun there in the first house and you're working on yourself there, a good time, and that may be it'll assist you in doing that possibly. But just watch out for internal aggression in your mind. If you need help, you need to reach out and talk to somebody that you can trust. But maybe, it's whatever's going on, you're just purposely keeping it, under wraps, behind the veil, secret and private, and enjoying it all by yourself, one-on-one with whoever that might be, or even yourself, processing those things yourself and in a healthy way. So that is what's going on for Taurus rising in Taurus season. So we have a couple of lunations coming up. We have a solar eclipse in the sign of Taurus on April 30th. That is the start of a cycle of new beginnings, planting seeds in the sign of Taurus. That's all about, how we want to live in the world, bringing back to the earth. So we're starting to plan those things, plant those seeds so that they grow. A solar eclipse can be the beginning of a very long cycle. So, we do have some energy in there kind of sparking up things so that we might be able to hopefully see something a little bit snappier happen. Again, it all depends on what's in your chart, what points are hitting. Some people feel those things quicker than others, but definitely astrologically and in the evolutionary process, new moons start a process and it takes time to unfold. We have a full moon on May 15th, a full moon lunar eclipse on May 15th in the sign of Scorpio. That might prove to be a little bit more intense, and we can talk about that as time goes. I'm working on a Neptune and all the conjunctions and the Pisces energy video to sort of ride us out of all of this heavy Pisces energy, hopefully before the end of the month. Something that I'm working on a positive note. And what else? Yeah, I'm working on the horoscopes, and I'll finish those up and throwing out some other things in between. And keep an eye out. If you have subscribed, hit the notification bell so you know whenever I put out a new video. I'm really trying to ramp it up. It just has said it before. It takes like a long time to really get used to talking to something that's not there, but you know, it's coming. It's coming. So I appreciate your patience. Thank you for being here. I will see you for your Gemini 2022 horoscope reading at the end of May, beginning of June. Until then, may the stars forever be in your favor. Take good care, and I will see you next time. Bye.